19th of July. Mum says, I don't have a husband. Please remember me. Don't take risks. So she's already really aware, right? July, the husband's gone. She also knew that that guardianship hearing was life or death. She said, this is a life or death situation if we don't win. And people are treating her like she's demented, and that's why I got this video. But then nobody really wants to watch the video. So it's just like everybody, it's like the whole system is set up for the elders to be just kidnapped, drained dry, they'll be in the grave, they'll have no witnesses, no one will know. And I suppose that's how it happens most of the time, isn't it? So okay, Friday 21st, public guardian hearing. 3 siblings, 2 lawyers. So because Patrick Tudhope had done this, showed his hand by not giving me the keys to this place unless I took Mum back to the nursing home, he then puts in Paul Marsh, who's not part of his company. He's Tudhope, Solomon Tudhope, but Paul Marsh has his own lawyer firm in the same building in Parnell Street, Strathfield. So they dragged him in, right? Anyway, it was just terrible. It was just the worst day of my life and Mum's life. And everybody eviscerated my character. The siblings, Trish and Paul, were mostly concerned with what was going to, how they'd change the money and what was going to happen with the money. They put words in Dad's mouth. It said that Dad said things like he had to take care of me and just made me sound like a real problem daughter. Just rubbish. I'd say putting words in an elder's mouth and using them as a ventriloquist puppet so you can get hold of their money. Like, what's that called? What's the name of that crime? Anyway, they eviscerated me. They pretended to go for guardianship, Trish and Paul, but really what they were really doing was pushing Mum into the hands of the public guardian, because they knew that once Mum, they knew the stratagem, they'd been told, once Mum was in the hands of the public guardian and in a nursing home, there was no way to get her out again, and especially someone like me who can't afford the lawyer and is not networked in that way, and that they were, all attacking from either side. So what hope did I have? So they basically, took Mum away. And the next day when I arrived back, Saturday the 22nd, 7 a.m, found Mum in the dining room, sleepless all night, took her to bedroom. And they'd said something about me putting too many layers on her or something. So when I found her in the lounge room, they'd taken, so obviously Trish and Paul had taken her back, taken all her layers off, so she was cold in the morning and she feels naked without those layers. And she was just there waiting for me in the lounge, desolate. And Trish, or Paul, had taken out of her bag the framed photo of her mother, Minnie Reardon. So that's a stolen item, okay? And that's a ritual abuse thing to do, because that's her mother, that's her memory. And almost like headhunting. These people are sick. Because there's one thing, like a motivation to get the money, okay, that's one thing. But what happened when Mum was returned to this control order that has deteriorated her ever since? Trish and Paul sort of colluded with the nursing home, to create these punishments for Mum, but then also went in and stole things from her room, things that were memorabilia, Sister Monica photos, laptop. So anyway, back to the diary. So yeah, after Sunday 23rd, the siblings, no visitors on Sunday, no visitors. I think Mary came on the Saturday night, that was the only visitor on Saturday. Oh, and Trish came, but for short periods, like, 20 minutes. And then no family on Sunday. And of course, Mum and I are no longer allowed to see Dad, her husband, my father. So, Saturday 22nd, we come back to Father John, a new resident. He wants to go for a walk outside, but no nurses want to walk with him. He can't go out and I can't take him for a walk, but he wants to walk. He talks about having no freedom, not being able to walk when he wants to. So he's really frustrated, and this is what they do to all of them. They drive them nuts. Instead of walking them, they medicate them. If I let Mum sit here, she would be a sitting vegetable. All the residents sit around bored. Nurses don't interact or respond to needs. It's just seen as a dementia. And the residents know they are being undermined or ignored. Okay, Saturday 22nd, Mum was in a sad mood when I arrived back at 8:15. I was sorry she'd been alone that long, because Trish came at 6 and I thought Trish would stay, but she only stayed for less than half an hour, the nurse told me. A nice nurse was sitting with her. Some of the nurses I like, they're kind. I know they're sad for me and Mum, even though they don't say it, I see it in their eyes. Mary Kennedy from New York, that sister, arrived at 8:45 and I left her and said I'd come back at 9:15. I said when I returned, let's put Mum to bed so I could share what Mum was going through, but Mary wants Mum in the nursing home too, because Mary told Mum she would care for her and then left for New York. I asked Mary if she'd like to get Mum ready for bed so I could explain the trauma Mum had been through. I went to get an apple juice for Mum, and when I came back, Mary was rifling through my bag. I asked her why she was rifling through my bag, and she said she was looking for Mum's pyjamas. Since it was a handbag, it didn't make sense. Okay, so by Monday the 24th, I'm told Mum has to eat in the dining room, is not allowed freedom of movement to decide where she wants to eat. Like there was another little private space up the corridor, can't eat there, can't eat in the bedroom. Julie Knox and Ramilla confront me at the front door to tell me that I'm not allowed to come and see Mum till 10 a.m. This is after watching Mum freak out. Oh, when the nurses touched her. Yeah, so the nurses are touching her, Mum's going, don't touch me, and then I come out and basically I just get read this riot order by Julie Knox and Ramilla. Mum does not want to be dressed by nurses. The Indian nurse tells me this. Well, she hasn't got anything she wanted, did she? Wrote an emailed letter to Public Guardian asking to lift control order. This is Tuesday the 25th. Wrote to Judy McKay, local member. Wednesday 26th of July. Arrived, Mum finishing breakfast, and they let her sleep in that day, which is good. Father John bashes a desk, wants to go out for a walk, frustrated, bored, violent incident. Father John bashes up front desk and slams down laptop lid because he is frustrated, as they all are. Sunday 23rd, Father John's dead now, by the way. Dead, right? Don't quite know how he died. Heart attack, frustration. Sunday 23rd of July, eating lunch outside. Father comes out for a walk and tells us off before being let inside again. He might kill us, says Mum. He might chop me up. Risky. See, she feels at risk back here. How are we going to know? Mum points to the back of the yard and says it's like a home. So she's got this awareness it's not a home, it's like a pretend home. It's an institution. I put Mum to bed at 1:45. I go back at 4 p.m. to check, still sleeping. I leave, come back at 4:40, get Mum dressed to see Dad, but told not allowed to see Dad. Right? So they've already started this not allowed to see Dad, separating family. Then wanted to have a walk on premises, not allowed to walk on premises. Right? This is all these things we return to after the guardianship hearing, these punishments. And Trish said it, one of the reasons why they said Mum should go back is because apparently Dad really wanted to see Mum, he really missed her. And they knew this control order would mean that he wouldn't see her, because I'm the only one that's there every day of the week and I couldn't take her over. Sunday 23rd of July, sit with Mum in an outside area so she can get some fresh air. I wanted to take Mum to church, but we're now confined to Dominic Ward, which means Mum gets no outside exercise, which helps her depression. I draw pictures of Mum and write down her words. When she says something interesting, I wait for siblings to turn up, 6 p.m, 7 p.m, 8 p.m, nobody comes. When we go to bed, to the room, Mum is so distressed, thinks if she sleeps someone will come in and kill her. That's how safe she felt in that dump. I tell the nurse I'm leaving because my sister said she was coming, and then I leave and return about 9:15 in case she didn't come, and to make sure Mum's okay. She didn't come. Mum is scared and angry, but I calm her down, put her to bed and leave at 10:20.
Oh, is it? I'm going to massage her. I'm going to
Thursday 27.
Sit down.
Paul said at the guardianship hearing that this is a great institution, and yet he hasn't spent more than half an hour here. Now we're under house arrest. I'm here all the time, and I can tell you this is a dumping ground for the fleecing of elders. They have no daily recreation. They sit like vegetables around the lounge room all day. They beg to be taken outside for a walk, but the world is denied to them unless they have a relative that can take them out. But Mum is under a control order, and so am I. Mum is not allowed out of this ward, is forced to eat in the dining room, and has not had decent exercise for 5 days. Without exercise, my mother gets depressed. Father John has a compulsion to ring the bell. There's no stimulation. The Holy Spirit nursing home has no Holy Spirit. It dehumanises people, sees them as little more than their physical condition. We treat animals better. Saturday 29th of July, Mum says, I'll be getting a sleep if I can. That keeps me alive. Lethal I am. So she knows she needs to sleep, and of course later on they start depriving her of sleep. Sunday 30th, Mum is awake and showered before I arrive. I eat breakfast with her in dining room. Lynn wandering around aggressively. I put Mum back to bed after breakfast. They have forbidden for her to have the door shut with me. No privacy, and yet Mum can't sleep with the door open. Right? So what's this about? What's this about? All these punishments. Mum quote, I love you and they're deadly. They are. Okay, 31st of July. Mum's rug is missing from bedroom. They removed it for health and safety regulations. So you can't have anything comforting. Rugs and anything comforting you can't have. Health and safety regulations. I hunt it down and put it back in a room. Leave Mum sleeping till 2 p.m. Go back to Arthur Street to move another load. Tuesday 1st, Mum goes for a walk around the quadrangle with Tina at my request, but it brings up old traumas, and when I come back after lunch she is talking about murder and loss and losing her husband. Every wound has been opened, it's so painful to witness. I massage her and put her to bed.
Yes. And that's amazing. And run away.
Wednesday 2nd, I bring garden tools, but when I arrive, Mum is at church. Being in main area again reminds her of what she lost. I don't think she's had a shower all week, so I try to get her into the shower at 1 p.m. She won't take off her pants, totally body traumatised. I wash the top half of her body under the towel so she feels modest, protected. Shower and dressing takes 3.5 hours because Mum is so traumatised. Finally, I get her jumper and socks on at 5 p.m. Take her to dining room for dinner. It's so depressing.
Free Gwenny.
Thursday the 3rd, arrive 9:30. Mum finished breakfast. I take her outside for fresh air. Mum is very depressed, anxious and tired. Take her inside for toilet and massage and change clothes, but put Mum to sleep. Ask if she can have a late lunch. When I come back at 1 p.m. I was told Mum did a big diarrhoea all over the floor. Ripped up her nappy and shat everywhere. Mum is going feral with incarceration and isolation, no exercise, no church, no dad. This is mental abuse. And that's August the 3rd. Right, she's going nuts already. So then Friday the 4th, ring Duty Guardian, Southern Division, right? So that's Sylvia's department. Ring back 9:30, ring Public Guardian. Inquire about Guardian Appeal. Oh. Mum howled when I walked in. She sang, howled in my ear and we sang like two wolves crying without tears. She was almost comatose when I walked into her room. She lay down to bed, no energy, depressed. I took video.
No, I gotta get you something.
5 p.m. Paul arrives. It's Friday the 4th. Okay, Saturday the 5th, arrive 8 a.m. Mum on toilet. Chinese nurse who hates me says I can't have breakfast in top dining room with Mum because I make a mess. Go home and make petition clip in response to Paul's false claim at guardianship hearing.
We'll go to justice.
No visitors. Mum had no visitors that Saturday. Arrive 8 a.m. Mum is in Father John's room looking for Dad. She is grieving. We have breakfast. I massage her legs and arms, and when I take off her clothes, her dry skin flakes off like dandruff. Mum speaks about John. Wants to see Dad badly. So what they did was, they've taken her away from her husband, Father John, and they've put her into a ward with Father John. What did Mum call Dad? Father John, Daddy-O, and the boss. So So they put him in exactly the same room that Dad's in, but in the other ward. So Mum, you know, sort of feels it out territorially, and she goes into that room.
Who thought we'd end up
grieving Dad. And Father John is frustrated and horny as hell and keeps ripping off his clothes in front of Mum, so she's had to look at naked priest bloody 3 times. And she's going into his room, sort of like makes him think she's keen for him, right? And then he follows her into her room and leaves his book on her toilet and letters and everything. And I'm just terrified. She's going to be sexually assaulted. So, you know, what they're doing is they're using her grief to set her up for sexual abuse. That ward is so inappropriate. No. What is she doing there? And after my complaints about this, why do they keep her there?
That's why I'm here protecting you.
Because, you know, all the wards are co-ed. Well, Mum should not be in a co-ed nursing home.
Yeah, and that's why I'm
it's disgusting.
All the time. And I'll never leave.
Unlocked door, they can come in and out when they want.
I know.
Monday 7th, Mum says, it's hard to know where you live, isn't it, while eating breakfast. After breakfast, I put Mum down for a nap. If I wasn't here, Mum wouldn't get a nap. She'd sit around like a potato in the lounge room.
Yeah.
3 p.m, 3:34 comes with Dad.
It's like if you could go inside and relax.
5 gardening dinner, 7 p.m. bedtime. So I tried to get her participating and doing gardening, but they stopped that too. They stopped that. Where we were doing our little gardening, they went and planted their own carnations or whatever. Didn't invite us, but it was like, this is our space, go away. Using my bucket and spades, I might add. Unbelievable. Tuesday the 8th.
They're not going to hurt you because I'm
get there at 8:30. Staff on high alert, very icy. Oh, because I forgot the key. Hostile. Asked me to sign in. I do as they ask, but feel scared and intimidated. So they're always frightening me and intimidating me. And Mum. Wednesday the 9th, arrived 9 a.m. Icy vibe from staff. Today Lynn is violent and aggressive. Mum is in the firing line. Why is Mum being forced to eat in the dining room with these people? I tell nurse I'm taking Mum to eat outside. What would happen if I wasn't there to protect Mum? Well, we know what would happen. She'd get drugged and she'd be in a wheelchair, because that's what happened to her now.
It will come. Well,
because there's no way to get her out. Is there?
The public guardians
no way to rescue her.
They have to release
She'll be fucking dead by the time we get her out of here.
They have to release some money.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And there's
the people involved will never hear the
public
last
guardian
word
are
from me,
going
I
to
can
take
tell
over
you
the
that.
financial management because it's just
oh, here we go. August 10th, Colleen May, room 10. Stage dive out of bed, fell on floor, over bars. Pulmonary head injury, now on heavy medication, severely depressed, no padding on the floor. See, they take away Mum's rug on the floor. She fell on her head on the floor. There's no padding because of health and safety regulations. Oh, and then they put the padding down afterwards. Bit late, love. So everything's too late in that place. Oh yeah, and then Friday the 11th, I take a letter to the office to appeal to Julie Knox to stop the control order. She comes out and tells me, no way. She tells me that Mum will never leave the building again. No more church, no more walks, no more Dad with me, no more social life. And if I break any rules, I'll be punished further. These people are Nazis, they're sadists. What right do they have to punish me or my mother and then charge her for it? And the public guardian's in on this? This is bloody state-sanctioned abuse. This is unreal, man. Okay, so much punishment, unbelievable. Saturday 12th. Arrive 8 a.m, scared of coming early, but more scared of what Mum will be put through if I'm not there. Mum is going feral with the lack of exercise. That's the 12th of August. And then why doesn't Trish take Mum over to see Dad? You know, I'm not allowed to, and she doesn't, because her whole thing is punishing Mum for disinheriting her. I feel like I'm back in high school. Who are these Nazis? Go back to Mum's room, and Father John is bursting in again to Mum's room, right? Trish and Joe arrive about 6 p.m. Nurse tells me they leave 10 minutes later after I leave. Okay, so Monday, 14th of August, Mum is losing coordination and cannot take instructions to sit down and stand up anymore. Cannot balance in the same way. Losing identity. Says she's not married anymore. Has not seen Dad in a week. Destroying a marriage. Destroying a life. Tell me this is not murder, you know. Rang Gordon Slater. Rang Justice Connect. Tuesday, 15th of August. Mum says I'm lonely. She also says I'm ugly and nobody likes me. See, so they're eating away her self-esteem, her identity. Mum had great self-esteem and identity. How dare you? How dare my siblings put her into a place that makes her feel ugly and lonely. It's parenticide. 16th, Wednesday 16th of August. Me not allowed to shower mum or close door with mum, but mum refuses showering by anyone else. Nurse tries to give mum shower due to management decree, but she refuses. I've been doing mum's shower since her return. Mum has had arthritis for lack of exercise. Thursday 17th. Mum is not allowed preferences. Mum still has not showered. Head nurse agrees I can shower mum after lunch. If they watch, see, mum wasn't letting other people shower her, and they didn't want to push her because that's against their duty of care, so they let me do it. But then the management, when they found out about it, stopped me from showering her and forced the staff to shower her. It's just trauma after trauma after trauma. Okay, I'll stop there for the moment. That takes us to Thursday, 17th of August.
Come on, Mummy. Eat your food, sweetie. Come on. Come on, honey. Eat your food.